Welcome to the Holistic Kid Show. My name is Zane.
My name is Abdullah.
And my name is Imad.
We're the Holistic Kids here to educate us kids from the inside out. Imad, what's your favorite snack?
Olives.
Did you know that olives were one of the healthiest foods on the planet?
Really? How?
Well, today we have the perfect guest with us to talk all about the things olives and olive oil.
Today we are joined by T.J. Robinson. He is one of the world's most respected authorities on all matters olive oil. Known for his platinum palate, he is one of the few Americans invited to serve as a judge in the prestigious Italian olive oil tasting competitions. He is dedicated to importing rare, fresh pressed olive oil, the most flavor.
Share audio. Hey, you're back. We lost you there for a second.
Oh, hi. Did you hear everything else though?
Yeah, I didn't, but maybe the producer can tell us if she heard everything, or do we need to start back at the platinum palette? That was fun. That was a fun part.
Okay.
All right, well, one more time. T.J. Robinson is one of the world's most respected authorities in all matters olive oil, known as platinum palate. He he is dedicated the most flavorful and most healthy extra virgin olive planet. Until now, virtually impossible to obtain year-round in the U.S. All of his oils are independently lab tested and certified for 100% purity. Thank you so much for joining us today.
Uh, it's a real pleasure. Hey, I am excited about being on your show. I love introducing kids to fresh pressed olive oil and all the amazing flavors and textures and cultures around olive oil. So very excited to be here.
Yeah, and obviously, first to start with, there are different flavors to olive oil because a lot of people they don't think of olive oil as being flavorful. I mean, how much flavor can you have with olive with olives?
Olive oil.
Yeah, I don't know if you Yeah, I don't know if you guys like hot sauce or not, but you know how hot sauce can be really spicy? Well,
Yeah.
really high quality olive oil can
Mhm.
also be really spicy. So, we're going to test your taste buds later in the show and see if you can detect some of the health promoting polyphenols on the palate.
Well, we can't wait for that. So, why did you start the Fresh Pressed Olive Oil Club? We would love to hear your story.
Oh, thanks. Well, I love to travel. I love cultures. I love cuisines. I used to be a chef, and I worked in a restaurant kitchen, and I love that. But along the way, I formed this love of travel. And on one of my trips, I was in Sicily, and I was invited to an olive harvest party. So most people don't know that olives are a fruit. Most people, I don't know what they think olives are, but olives are a fruit. So basically, olive oil is a fruit juice. So I was traveling in Sicily a couple decades ago and was invited by a family to harvest olives with them from their orchard, their grove. and spent the day harvesting fruit with them. And we took it to a local mill in the evening. And that evening, I had my first taste of fresh olive oil. And I knew then that what I was getting in the US was not very good. And so I started out on a mission to introduce people to the wonders of fresh pressed olive oil, which is super hard to find in the US.
That is amazing how you went all the way to Italy or to Sicily to find out about all of the or what olive oil really tastes like.
Yes, absolutely. Because in America, we don't get a lot of great fresh olive oil. We only grow about 5 to 10% of the olive oil we consume in America. The rest is all imported. So it comes very slow to the US, and olive oil does not get better with time. It's not like wine, where wine is aged, but olive oil, oxygen actually kills the flavor in olive oil. So if it's really fresh olive oil, it should be vibrant and alive, as we'll taste later.
I love olives. Why are olives and olive oil so good for you?
Well, there are very important fats in olives and olive oil. There's a lot of fats that are not very good for your health. So the fat makeup that is inside an olive, that is usually about 10%, 10 to 20% of the olive itself, of the fruit, is actually fat, and that's olive oil, and that's a healthy fat. So taking some bad fats out of your diet with different seed oils and things that are health demoting, and changing over to a healthy fat such as olive oil or avocado oil, or healthy fats, can be really great for your health.
So we see different labels of olive oil. Which one is actually better for you?
Yeah, it's really hard because the big companies out there, they don't make it easy to tell the good ones from the bad ones. Sometimes they put them in really fancy bottles. So you see this fancy bottle of olive oil that they spend a lot of money on the packaging on, but the actual olive oil inside is not very good. So you really have to learn to read the label and look for a harvest date. You want to know that it's fresh. So there's a big education. But the main thing is to educate your palate and know what to look for. And we'll talk all very specifically about what to look for in a high quality olive oil when we start tasting.
So what is the difference between artisan produced EVOO versus mass produced olive oil, and what even are those?
Yes. So artisanal EVOO is where a real artist or a real specialist makes the olive oil. So they treat the trees. They love the trees. They're in their farm. They take good care of them all year round. They know exactly when to harvest the fruit to get maximum amount of flavor right at harvest time. They have a mill that's usually right in the grove. So they make the olive oil fresh using really great technology, stainless steel, clean facility. And they know how to extract the most flavor from the olives and to get those into the final product and into the bottle, basically. And there's the other side of that, which is so let's think of apple juice. I don't know, where do you guys live? Where do you live?
We live in the Middle East, in the middle,
In the middle.
Midwest. Yeah.
Yeah.
Midwest.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. So I don't know if you guys have ever in the fall been to an apple orchard and had fresh apple cider, where they gather the apples and you get fresh apple cider, and you taste that apple cider and you know how amazingly flavorful it is, let's say compared to a box of apple juice. So let's think of artisanal as being the small apple orchard with the farmer with the fresh fruit who makes really beautiful stuff. You taste it fresh and it's really good. And let's think of commercial olive oil or bulk or commodity olive oil as being something that's more boring, a little more flat, mass produced, not as much love and care. So that's the difference, is love and care versus mass production.
So, how does olive fruit ripeness at harvest time play a role in olive oil quality and prices?
Yeah, so you guys will taste this olive oil and you're going to see it's a little different than, say, store-bought olive oil. The reason this is because these olives are harvested very, very green. So an olive, as it ripens, as the fruit ripens on the tree, it goes from green to black. So when, even for table olives, if you've ever tasted a green olive from the, let's say, the supermarket, from the deli section, the green olives, you know how they're kind of a little more tough, a little more bitter, where if you wait until they're black olives, let's say like the black Californian olives or the ones from Greece, those have more fat inside. They're more buttery. They are also tremendously flavorful. But for olive oil, and specifically for health promoting olive oil, I look for a very early harvest olive. So a really green fruit. And inside that fruit, there's about 10% of the fruit that's oil in a green olive. Where if you let the olives hang on the tree for, say, an extra month, month and a half, it could get up to 25% olive oil inside. So depending on the quality level and the price people are willing to pay for the olive oil, you can kind of hit your target. For my club members, they're looking for the most health promoting olive oil and also the most concentrated in flavor. So we've got flavor, polyphenols, antioxidants, and that's what my club members go for in their families.
Well, that
These
is
are
really
great
cool.
questions.
Yeah, how like different if it's a black olive is actually tastes different and is a lot different than the green olive, which even though they're the same kind, like most fruits, the ripe one is usually better than the one that's like the green banana versus the yellow one.
Very, very smart. It's true. So the thing with the green olives, they pack more of a punch. They're more concentrated. So you get a lot more flavor out of a green olive than you do a black olive. And depending on the style of oil you're going for, you can choose. If most producers out there in the world who are selling their olive oil by the liter in a container, they're going to let the olives hang on the tree for an extra month to get double the amount of oil. Unfortunately, the quality of the olive oil, the real compound we're looking for, or one of the compounds, are these antioxidants and polyphenols. As it hangs on the tree, those start to go down, not up. So, unfortunately, the economics of olive oil and the healthy side of olive oil, they don't really go together, unfortunately.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Also, you've been mentioning polyphenols. What exactly is
Yes.
that?
So, polyphenols are antioxidants. They are these compounds that the olives use to protect themselves in nature. A lot of things we consume, such as green tea or leafy green vegetables, they have antioxidants and polyphenols and that are very health promoting for us. So, we're really lucky that olive oil is a really good fat, a source of a healthy quality fat, and two, it's a source of wonderful polyphenols. And one of the antioxidants, there was a scientist who actually studied ibuprofen, who was visiting Sicily, like me, separate trip, different year, and he discovered this kind of tickle and burning in the back of his throat that kind of reminded him of ibuprofen back in the lab. He was an American, I think, from Philadelphia. And anyway, he brought the olive oil back to America. He did some studies on this fresh olive oil from Sicily, and he discovered and named a compound that is in fresh olive oil that is very much like ibuprofen. So it cools inflammation. It's just really good for your brain and your gut and your overall health, your joints, etc. So anyway, there's a lot of science going into olive oil, and the better that science is starting to keep up. People have known for really thousands and thousands of years that olive oil was very healthy. In fact, in the beginning, olive oil was used for light. It was used as a fuel source before electricity. So, for example, one of my producer friends in Italy, they, in the very beginning, hundreds of years ago, they used to sell all their olive oil to Russia. And there it was used to grow, to light the street lamps in Russia hundreds of years ago. So it's been used as a light source, a fuel source, a medicine, and also a food for thousands of years. So it's a really interesting product that Mother Nature gave us.
Yeah, well, that is amazing how like a small, tiny fruit has so much benefit.
It's true.
So, how does the olive fruit variety play a role in the taste of olive oil?
So when we taste these olive oils, you're going to see there are differences. For example, in Italy, there are about 550 olive varieties. So let's think about apples for a minute. You guys know the difference between a green apple, a red apple, and a yellow apple. Have you ever sat down and actually tasted the three apples side by side to kind of understand which one's tart and which one's really sweet? You guys done that before?
We've
No.
tasted them like separately.
In
So
different
we
times.
like,
Yeah.
So we
It,
know
it's
that. One
Yeah, so olives are essentially the same. Like they're olives, the way those are apples, but they're different varieties that have different flavors. Some are more spicy, some are less spicy, some are bitter, some have a lot of green notes on the nose, as we'll smell when we do a smell test on the olive oil here in a few minutes. But yeah, that's these olive varieties, they're grown in these little microclimates all over Italy. So Italy has olive variety, Spain, Israel, Egypt, like all over the Mediterranean basin, there is amazing olives from different countries. So Morocco has fantastic olives. So it's a really interesting fruit that's kind of adapted to different areas around the Mediterranean Sea area.
yeah, I mean, yeah, olives are everywhere, like in the
Yeah.
Middle East. Like you think that they're only like in Italy and like but no, they're everywhere, kind of really.
Absolutely. There are amazing projects happening all over the Mediterranean basin. And one thing that's really cool, as immigrants left the old world and headed to the new world, such as Chile and Argentina, Australia, New Zealand, and California, they took cuttings of the olive trees, and they, to hide them, they cut the stitches in their clothes, and they hid them in their clothes when they got on the boat to go to the new world. And what they would do when they got to the new world, where it had a very similar climate to where they were in the Mediterranean, they would actually plant the olive trees. They would take a little bit of their family history that was used for the health, it was used for religious ceremony, it was used for really everything, from consumption to putting on their skin. Like, so they really took a lot of their heritage and their culture with them by traveling by boat. So they planted in the new world. So I spend half of my year in the northern hemisphere in the Mediterranean, and then in our summertime is the winter time in the southern hemisphere. This is why we have fruits and veggies that are in the grocery store usually year round. But so what I do, I travel to the southern hemisphere and get fresh olive oil in our summer. So we fly it back, or I fly it back by jet to America, so my club members can have fresh oil 4 times a year. So 4 different harvests. So these new world olive plantings are all from the Mediterranean. They just took the trees down there where there's very similar climate as the Mediterranean. But it makes it really interesting to try the flavors of an olive grown in two different places. It's really cool.
All right, so now we have 3 bottles here of your amazing olive oil. So can you tell more about each one?
Sure. So I don't know if you guys, I sent you some tasting cups.
Yeah,
So
Yeah.
and do you guys have a garden where you live?
Yes.
kind of. Yeah, we have like a herb
Kind of.
garden.
Oh, perfect, perfect. So what I'm going to do, we want to take one of these cups. You can just, we can share. You can get your own. And in the bottom of the cup, I want to put about a tablespoon of oil. So about a tablespoon, which isn't a whole lot, but just enough in there. And we're not going to taste it right away. We're going to just pour in the olive oil. See if it's kind of hard to show you, but that's what I have in the bottom. I don't want to spill it on my keyboard, but so about a tablespoon in the bottom. So we're going to keep that one on our left, and that's the blue. That's the. Oh, you started with the green one.
Yeah,
Did you
we
want
start
to?
with
Okay, that's fine. Well, so the green one is the medium, so we can put that one in the middle. It's the medium, so we can put that one in the middle. If we're going to taste 3, you can put this this one in the
there's
middle.
different stages. There's middle, media.
So there's a mild, a medium, and a bold. So there's actually 3 different flavor profiles, because depending on what you're cooking in the kitchen, you want to use different olive oils. So you can actually use olive oils the way, kind of like with pasta, for example, with a pasta sauce. If it's a big chunky pasta, you want a big rich sauce with it, like a good tomato sauce. But let's say it's a delicate cream sauce, you use a very delicate pasta. So the same with olive oil. Bolder food usually gets a bolder oil, and this black one is the bold one of the quarter, and that would be in your 3rd cup in your, because it's best to taste things from light to more strong, because your palate can assess that more easily. So the first one we're going to do a smell test on is the Noan. That's what we're going to do. So again, we're not tasting, we're only smelling. We're going to start with this one, the Noan. And here is how professional tasters do it. We put the cup in the palm of our hand like this. And what we're doing is the palm of our hand is warm, and it's warming the olive oil inside our cup. And then we put our other hand on top, and we kind of swirl it around. And we swirl, and we're not splashing it or anything. We're just doing it gently. But what this does is it kind of warms the olive oil. Can I see one of you guys do this?
Yeah.
Okay,
You want to
wait.
give this a try? There you go. There you go. There you go. There you go. All right. So then what we want to do is uncover it right by our noses. And we want to breathe in and see what we smell. We probably smell things like fresh cut grass, like you've just gone outside and you've finished mowing the grass. Maybe some herbs. So in the first one, you might smell some herbs. Think of like basil or parsley. If you're in the garden and you rub some parsley on your hands and then you smell your hands, can you guys name anything you smell in this one? Do you guys smell anything stand out?
Let me see. Oh, what's that?
It smells fresh. It
does.
smells alive.
It smells like olives.
Olives. Okay, good, good.
What kind of scents that you put inside your room?
Like an
What was-
essential oil.
Essential oil.
Oh, okay. Yep. Like definitely basil, oregano oil. Like I could definitely see those things. Sometimes lemon, sometimes olive oil can smell like lemon. So I work with a small group of tasters, and we put together a tasting note card so people know how to use the oil. So we said of this one that it smells like grass. It smells like green apple. Maybe you guys want to smell it while I am reading a few of these and see if you guys can identify if your nose can smell any of these things. But I said grass, I said green apple, and we're still on the blue one.
Yeah, I know.
I said kiwi, wild mint, fennel, celery, and parsley, maybe with a hint of cinnamon. So those are the descriptors that we've used to describe the nose on this olive oil. So the next step we want to do is actually take a little taste. So how we do that, of the little bit that's in the cup, or the small amount, that we want to take a small taste, not too much, because it can be a little spicy. So we're going to take a little bit, and then we're just going to chew it, and we're going to feel it on our tongue, and we're going to be looking for a couple things. One is all this green stuff we talked about, all these green, fresh grass. Two, you want it to be bitter. And why bitter? Kind of like a lime skin, because bitterness tells you it's from very early harvest fruit. It's from green fruit. And then the last thing, you'll probably get a little tickle of spice in the back of your throat, a little peppery pinch. We call it a peppery pinch. And that's how you know an olive oil is fresh. So those are the three things you're looking for. You're looking for fruity, you're looking for bitter, and you're looking for spicy. And these are the items, like if you drizzle this over crusty bread with a little bit of salt, or over some sweet potatoes, or really any dish, it just brings the dish to life. I think of olive oil as a sauce, kind of like ketchup, that Mother Nature made for you. So that's what I think. What do you guys taste in here? Do you
I
taste
can
anything?
feel a little bit of spice, like coming through
Awesome.
like throat. And
Awesome. That's the polyphenols dancing around on your palate. And when I first learned to taste olive oil, someone said to me, TJ, is that a 1-cough oil, a 2-cough oil, or a 3-cough oil? Because I was not used to that very, tight, thing in my throat, and it was making me cough. And in fact, probably by the time we get to the third one, you may experience a 1, a 2, or a 3-cough oil. So this is the mild oil. The next one we want to taste is the Mercurius. This is from an Italian family, this very sweet Italian family, and they make this beautiful oil on their farm, and we're going to swirl it, and we're going to smell it. We're going to warm it up just like we did the last one. I'm going to see if you guys can pick out anything. Or when I'm reading it, I'm going to see if you guys can. So I think it's really important as kids to learn to identify aromas and flavors. So really pay attention to when you are consuming different foods, and really think about the flavor that you're getting. So like next time you're in the garden, take a piece of basil, put it in your hand in the spring and summer, put it in your hand, rub it around, and then smell it, and then put that memory in your brain. Our brains hold food smells very, very well for a really long time. It's like probably what's one of your mom's favorite dishes she makes?
Pizza.
Pizza. So you know exactly what the house smells like every time your mom makes pizza, right?
Yeah.
Like that is like an imprint on your brain. You're going to remember that forever. So I'm going to read you what we smelled on the second one. We smelled fresh grass, green banana. See if you guys can smell any green banana. Chicory, lettuce, orange peel, wild mint, and fennel seed. So we thought this one had some fennel in it, which was really nice. And you guys can take a little sip of this one too.
Okay.
Nice. A little heavier. Hey, did I see a cough there? That's the polyphenols. That's how you know it's healthy. You guys need water like me. That's only the medium. We're not even to the bold yet. So this type of olive oil would be really good with foods that are a little bolder in flavor, like pizza, for example. This would be a great oil for pizza. And when you drizzle the olive oil on food, it actually makes the vitamins in the food more bioavailable to your body. So it's really nice to anoint your food with a little bit of olive oil to make the health properties increase, basically, in your body consuming them.
So, I mean, so should we be cooking with olive oil, or is it better just to put it on at the end?
I think of it more as a sauce, but you absolutely can cook with it. You want to cook with a high quality olive oil. And the reason you want to do that is the antioxidants, these polyphenols that you're tasting, they actually protect the oil when it's being heated. So there is a lot of myths out there about you can't cook with olive oil or extra virgin olive oil, which is the highest quality, which is what we have. But not all extra virgin olive oils are created equal. So it's good to use a high quality fresh olive oil when you're cooking with it, especially. But you can really enjoy the flavors more when you just drizzle it on. So when you set your table with salt and pepper at the table for dinner, set the table with a bottle of olive oil, and you can drizzle it on your broccoli, your green beans, your carrots. Like, it just brings the food alive.
Yeah. So
Yes, because he's very sensitive to spice.
Oh, that's okay. That's okay. All right, let's go for the bowl. I warned you guys about hot sauce. This is not exactly hot sauce, but it's spicy. Fresh olive oil is spicy. So we're doing a little swirling here. We're doing a little smelling.
Mama.
So this one's greener. It's darker. It's bold. It smells kind of bold. I mean, it does have a very bold aroma. So think of it like a pesto. Have you guys ever tasted pesto before on pizza?
Yes.
Like basil
Yeah.
pesto? This is kind of like pesto.
This is
All right.
a lot
So
more
this,
bold.
yeah, a lot more bold. So I said this one had, it smells nutty to me. It's got green almonds, hazelnuts, chopped baby spinach, Tuscan kale, and watercress is how I said it smells. There's only olives in here, and it's only one olive variety from central Italy. So it's actually, just olives. You would think there's other stuff in here, but there's not. It's just a very clean, very fresh olive oil. I say on the palate, who's ready to dare take the palate challenge without coughing? I'm gonna try it myself. Oh yeah. Oh yeah, this one's spicy. It's got a little fuel to it. It's got a little fuel to it.
It definitely does.
Yeah, this one is super spicy, super bitter. This has polyphenol count of over 600 at the time of pressing. 600, which is a really high number. And so my mouth right now is tingly. It feels like I have peppermint or like, do you guys feel that? You feel like
Yes,
the spicy
yeah.
peppermint?
Especially
Yeah. Exactly. So the next time you taste olive oil, or you're at a friend's house or at a restaurant, it's fresh if it's spicy, and also it's high quality. So you want to look for spicy olive oil. I said of this one, on the taste, I said it tasted like tomato leaves. So if you grow tomatoes, go get some tomatoes and rub those leaves, but like tomato stem, green apple, thyme, lemon zest, dark chocolate, and green peppercorns were also detected. It's very intense in the mouth. It's got like radicchio. I don't know if you guys eat radicchio, but it's very bitter.
No.
Radicchio. You guys should try it. It's a fantastic vegetable. Dandelion greens, rosemary, lime zest, and dark cocoa. So these, and of course you feel all the polyphenols that are indicated by the spiciness of black pepper. So you guys did good. I didn't lose you to a coughing fit over there. So you guys are tough.
He died midway.
He died. Awesome. You guys are great little tasters.
Well, that has been so amazing. Where can people learn more about you and your work?
Well, for your listeners, and especially for kids, I really want to educate their palates and have them cooking in the kitchen. So what we've done, we've set up a special webpage just for you guys called Get fresh, that's GET, fresh, FRESH, 66.com. So getfresh66.com. And there, your listeners can get a bottle for $1. So they're going to get to try the olive oil and doing a tasting at home, just like you did. They can pull their olive oil out of their pantry and do a side-by-side comparison to understand what the real flavors of a high-quality extra virgin fresh olive oil are and how to identify those when they shop, or if they want to become a club member, that would be fantastic. And every quarter they'll get 3 fresh oils flown in by jet, hand selected by me, delivered directly to their door. So that's kind of the gateway to joining the club, is the $1 offer that folks will just pay for shipping, and they will try the olive oil in their house to see if it's right for them and their family.
Let's recap Mr. Robinson's key points.
Olive oil is one of the healthiest foods on the earth, as it is full of antioxidants and polyphenols. It's great for you and your brain and lowering inflammation, HSCRP, and even cancer. Green olives have more flavor than black olives, but olive oil is a very important healthy fat. Whenever you buy olives in a large container, they hang on a tree for a long time. As they hang on their tree, the health benefits decrease. Fresh olive oil should be vibrant and alive. So the type of olive oil you consume is important. Think about the olive oil you are using. Look for spicy olive oil, and that is the one that's how you know it is fresh. Look for green, fresh scents, and you want the olive oil to be bitter, as that is tells you that it's fresh from the fruit. And you also want to look for a spicy taste in the back of your throat, like Imad saw. When you drizzle the olive oil on food, it wants to. If you want to cook with olive oil, use a high cooking olive oil.
Thank you so much, Mr.
Hey.
Robinson.
Hey, it's been a pleasure, guys. Thank you so much. I heard there's one special dish you wanted to tell me about, Imad, that you love olive oil on. What's the dish you use olive oil on?
So I take canned salmon and I put it in a bowl, and then I put salt, and then I put some olive oil and raisins, and I mix it up.
Oh, that's so good. The raisins in there, this sweetness and the bitterness of the olive oil. That's a very adult dish. I'm like very proud of you for it. Very health promoting. Salmon has healthy fats just like olive oil. So that's fantastic. That's one of the best things you can eat. Congratulations on discovering that dish. I'm going to have to try it myself. So thank you.
So what happens if you mix all the olive oils together?
That would be called a blend, and sometimes there are actually experts who do that. I have a guy on my team that actually blends olive oils, but that's something you can do at your table if you have all three. One thing that's really nice is if you have like a bowl of rice, or maybe make it into 3 little bowls and try a little bit of olive oil on each thing, or a bowl of beans, trying it with different olive oils. It tastes quite different when it's mixed together with food. So it's really a fun kind of chemistry and taste experience to, take a bowl of white beans, put it into 3 small bowls, and try it with 3 different oils. Then you could try blending the oils. I mean, it's up to your taste. It's what you like, and that's what's fun about olive oil.
Thank you for tuning in. Until next time, I'm Zansari.
I'm Abdullah.
And I'm Mad.
Follow my family and I on social media, Holistic MD, and look out for my mom's book, The Holistic RX, for your guys healing chronic inflammation and disease. The Holistic RX for kids, parenting healthy brains and bodies in a changing world. And the amazing children's book we wrote together called Adam's Healing Adventure. And there's also a new one called Gratitude is a Superpower, that new one that came out today. Kids need to learn from other kids. Please download our podcast in iTunes and leave a review so other kids and families can benefit. We need to work together to create a healthy future for all of us and the planet. Join us next week for another episode of the Holistic Kid Show, where kids are empowering kids. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you,
everyone.
Thank you. Thank you, guys.